up, guys? This is RIzzyPOW, and this is going to be week 7 of the NPL, the National Pokeball League. I'm not doing a team builder again. I know I haven't been doing it for a while, just because we've been battling at bad times, and I just want to get this video up. And if I have to edit a team builder for it, I actually have to do a lot more editing, and I'm lazy, you know. But yeah, let me just explain the team real quick. So I am going up against Seb, week 7 of the NPL. We are 3-3 right now. This is a very important game for us because we're looking at the conference right now, and the top 4 get into the conference. Chris and Zazo are way up there, so they're winning all their games, and they're most likely going to make playoffs. Now, the fight is mostly between me, Joel, and Maddie. And Maddie actually just this week, if you guys don't, this battle's late, so you guys should probably know the results of the battle already. But he's 6-0 Gypsy, so he is way up there right now, and he has a lot of wins. It looks like that unless he just keeps on, unless he like somehow loses and everything. He's probably going to end up getting the 3rd seed in our conference, so it's pretty much just looking between me and Joel. And Joel also won this week, and so to be on the same level as him, I desperately need a win this week. I have a pretty good matchup in my opinion, so shouldn't, like, it's Seb as well, so it's definitely going to be a difficult match, but definitely thought I could have, I could win this week. Now just looking at the prep that I had, so I have Serena right here. It's my spinner. He usually does, I don't know if he gets rocks up actually. He actually might be, he probably has rocks on T-Tar, but he usually doesn't carry defog. I haven't seen him use defog once, so rocks on my hip are going to be very important. That's what I was thinking, but I have Serena. Serena is mostly there for switching into his like Tapu Fini and stuff, which I don't have the greatest switch-ins to otherwise, and I can just gain momentum off U-turn. Just gives me a nice spinner in case he does get his rocks up. Just U-turn, dropkick, synthesis, and then some other, what is it? U-turn, dropkick, synthesis, spin. So yeah, just more Spadef variants, enough speeds, outspeed like min speed Scizor or something. Got a little bit of bulk, so I can, after I dropkick Scizor, I can live, U-turn only does a bit over half to me, so I can predict the U-turn and go for synthesis and just stay in if I want to. And then my next mon is AV Goodra. Originally I was going to be Meadow Plate just because Power Whip hit his team very, very hard. But I decided to change it to AV just because, you know, some things were threatening, like T-Tar with like Z Blizzard or something to mostly take out Hippowdon, but it could have also done lots of this. Z Bug Buzz Volcarona was also very scary. And mainly this thing was my check to Volcarona. I have Rock Slide on this to just Oko it. I have Power Whip. I'm Braid, Max Attack, and then a bit of speed to outspeed like Min Speed Scizor, and I have an AV, so I'm pretty bulky. I also have Fire Blast and Ice Beam for his Gliscor, and then I have Fire Blast for this nice Scizor, which is huge threat to my team. My next mon is Kangaskhan. So originally I was going to run like some offensive Kangaskhan, but he does have stuff like Slowbro and Amoonguss, and even though Amoonguss is actually, I do have something for him, like my team's not very weak to Amoonguss because I have Sap Sipper, Goodra always for it, and he doesn't have many good switch-ins to Goodra on his team. The thing is that also with Kangaskhan is that I had Fire Punch, but I was also offensive at that point. So I decided to change it to a more bulky Seismic Toss variant, and end game, once like Slowbro gets weakened or something, I can just potentially just win. I have Seismic Toss, Wish Tech, and then I have Fire Blast, so I don't have to worry about switching into Skulls from Slowbro or even getting burnt by Volcarona in case he did not bring his Tapu Fini, because if he brought his Tapu Fini, obviously I couldn't get burned in the misty terrain, but it was just like a nice safe, I just didn't need to worry about getting burned. That was the whole point of Fire Blast. And now this thing could 2-KO everything that at least he brought with Seismic Toss. And Fire Blast also did like a good chunk to Amoonguss if I wanted to kill it from low without getting Rocky Helmet. And if he's Rocky Helmet Slowbro, which I'm thinking he will be, if I'm ever in a situation, I can just click Seismic Toss as he switches into Bro and then kill him after 2 Seismic Tosses. I'll take a ton of recoil, because he has Rocky Helmet, but at least I'll be able to get rid of Slowbro if I'm ever in that position. So my next mon is Hippowdon. Just a bulky Hippowdon, max defense to take on Zygarde. I do have Rocky Helmet. I was really thinking about changing it to leftovers before the match because like Rocky Helmet is mostly just to get like chip damage off on stuff like Scizor because I want to get chip damage off on it. What is it? I want to put it in range of Fire Blast from my Mega Kangaskhan. And I do have Whirlwind. I was really wanting to put Fire Fang on it, but he also had a Gliscor that could be SD, and I thought Whirlwind was just the better set. I had to have Rocks on this because my only other rocker is Alolan Marowak, which did not have the best matchup this game. But I wanted to put like Z Fire Fang or something for the Scizor, but I just could not do that. I had to have Whirlwind just in case he also brought Gliscor, and I couldn't have both of them because I had to have Rocks, I needed Slack Off, and I needed Stab Earthquake. So just kind of hard right there. And then I have a Life Orb Tornadus T with Hurricane. He doesn't have a good switch in this. I have Hurricane, Heat Wave, and then I have what do I have? I have Hiddenpower Ice for the Gliscor for Spadef Gliscor because that was actually kind of scary versus my team. And then I actually just have Grass Knot. I could have been Superpower or something, but I was pretty positive the T-Tar that he was bringing was either going to be Choppleberry T-Tar, like a bulky one, or like Z Blizzard. And if he was Choppleberry, I thought Grass Knot was better because I can also, like, if I'm ever up against Slowbro and trying to revenge kill that thing, I can go for Grass Knot. He might even switch into T-Tar and I can 2 KO that thing. So I thought Grass Knot was just better because, you know, in situations like that, it is very nice to have. And I was pretty sure to be Chopple anyway. But yeah, my next mon is actually Wise Glasses Hoop. I can switch into this Slowbro unless he has Signal Beam most of the time, and I can smack it with an Energy Ball in case he like wants to switch out to his Dark Resist being Finny. I also have Dark Pulse. I do have what else do I have? I have Hiddenpower Fire just for the Scizor, and then I have can't remember what my last move is actually, but I had Dark Pulse, Hiddenpower Fire, Grass Knot. I did not have Psychic Stab. I cannot remember at this time, but it was some other attack for something else on his team. Yeah, I can't remember. Maybe it was Psychic. I don't think it was. Actually, it might have been Psychic to get. I'm not sure. I do not remember. But yeah, this is pretty much my team. I've been going on for about 8 minutes now, so let's just get into the battle. And I'm also finally using this this layout right here, so I can actually use the layout that I have that everyone in the NPL uses. So and it doesn't like cross some of the words out. But you know, let's just start the game right over here. So he leads off with Scizor. I'm just gonna lead off with this just because I think I had a good matchup versus everything. If he led off with Scizor, he might be speedy Scizor, so I don't want to stay in and get hit with a U-turn. I can just straight up go out into my Hippowdon. But right here, he actually just switches in case I am speedy Goodra. And he goes on to this thing, his Finny. So I'm just going to go out into my my nice Hippowdon right here. And that's not good for me, not the matchup I want. So I'm just going to go out into my Serena, and I'm just going to hit up with a Trop Kick. Or actually, I think I actually just go for a Synthesis right here first. And he does actually go for a Moonblast right there. So that's what I was scared about in case he did attack. That's why I went for a Synthesis. And I also wanted to just be healthy. So right here, I'm actually going to U-turn. And I get a Scizor in. So now what I can do is I can just go into my Torn. And I can get a lot of damage off on something. So right here, I think I just straight up go for a Hurricane. Or a Heat Wave. I was actually really close to predicting the T-Tar going for Grass Knot to a KOing it. Probably should have done that. Should have been pretty aggressive right there. But I thought that I didn't need to do that. But in hindsight, probably should have. Would have gotten the momentum. But right now, I'm going to go into Kangaskhan. Now, the reason why I went for Kangaskhan was... the reason was because he had a... I was torn right here, obviously. And Z Blizzard was definitely an option for him to go, for him to have. And if I switched into Hippo and I lost Hippo, I could have just lost the game. He's definitely like bulkier T-Tar from that Heat Wave damage as well. So I knew I could easily take 2 Stone Edges, and then just wish, protect, and beat this thing 1v1, or at least get all my health back. I didn't want to take the risk of him going for Blizzard straight away, or even Z Blizzard on my Hippowdon and it being weakened. So I thought that this was just the better play, because I would not get 2 KO'd. I could wish, protect up, and I could end up being at full health most likely by the end of him switching out. But instead he decides to crit me, which was so bad, because now Kangaskhan, it's very difficult for him to wish, protect up on anything. And honestly, I should have just went for wish right here, because he wouldn't want to stay in with his T-Tar. He'd probably want to go out into his Slowbro right away, because that's probably his dedicated answer to this thing. So maybe I should just wished up right here. I decided to actually switch out so I can save this thing as a sack, and I could go out into my Hippowdon. The reason why I also didn't want to wish up was just in case he was Chople, because or like maybe even Shuckleberry. He might have been a berry, and Kangaskhan could not Oko that thing, so he might even just be inclined to just Stone Edge right here. But yeah, I just decided that my better play was to just go out into my Hippo, and he goes on into Slowbro, so I'm getting predicted a bit, but I still have the matchup, I think, in my favor. Maybe not after that crit, but maybe I should have started playing aggressively after that. But right here, I'm actually just going to go straight out into Hoopa as he goes out into this Tapu Fini, and I can just go out into my Serena. This is the last turn of Sandstorm, so I don't have to worry about it after this of going for Synthesis. So right here, I'm just going to, I think I Trop Kick right here because I thought Scizor would come in. I didn't have a good Trop Kick switch in besides that. And now I can just Synthesis up because I don't want to go straight out into this, because I don't want to go straight into Hippo and get a weakened at this point. So I just Synthesis up and I have a good switch in again. And right here I'm going to go for a U-turn. So in the end I gained a little bit of health off that. So that was the reasoning for that. And now I'm just going to go out into my Torn and I'm going to try getting another kill. And I go for Grass Knot right here, expecting his T-Tar. It's actually a contact move, so Rocky Helmet hurts me, and I'm just going to go for another Grass Knot. Right here I should have honestly went for a Hurricane, but I really just did not want to miss. I've been already unlucky with the crit, so I went for another Grass Knot. He goes into this, and he has a Rindo Berry, which is nice to get rid of that, so Power Whip can do a lot later to it. So I'm just going to go out into my Serena on this thing, and that's completely fine. I'm just going to go for either a U-turn or a Chop Kick. I just go for a U-turn. Scizor is getting weakened, which is really nice. It's definitely in range of like Fire Blast from this, and even Hurricane from Torrents. In range of Fire Blast from King, which doesn't really matter because it dies to Bullet Punch at this point, so that kind of sucks. But I'm going to go into this. I am in the Sand Force. I do have Sand Force because Sandstorm is up, and I can just go for Niku and do a lot of damage. But right here, I can also get up my Rocks, which is really nice, as he goes for Raikou. So the only reason that Raikou would come to this match, he did have a Balloon, which made a lot of sense. Raikou did not have a good matchup because I have stuff like Serena, Hippo, Gudra that all stop it, and even Hoopa is very specially defensive. Like, it has a lot of bulk. Like, he'd have to carry Signal Beam, which is, no, obviously he'd be probably Signal Beam if he had this. But what he would be is, I also have a Alolan Wax, so he would probably be Toxic right here, and I didn't want to stay in because I didn't want to get Toxic. I thought this would have been better to get Toxic, because now what I can do is I can just start firing off Power Whips, and I can break his Balloon at least. I can break his, I can break it, and I can do a lot of damage, and now with another one I can hit him hard and kill him, but actually I miss, which this really sucked because now I'm going to be taking more Toxic damage right here, and I was expecting him to go for another Shadow Ball. Probably a bad play right here I made, and this really sucked for me. And I go out into this, and he goes for the Signal Beam, and now I get 2 KO'd. So maybe at this point, I should have sacked Kangaskhan or something, because I needed Serena still. But, yeah, Serena, I just had to sack it, and that really sucks because I don't have much for Tapu Fini. I'm going to have to rely on living a hit with Hoopa and killing it with Energy Ball, or killing it with Torn or something, maybe even my Gudra. So right here, I'm just going to stay in. He gets this Spadef drop. Now, this Spadef drop is actually really bad for me because what is now is that he can go into Fini and get a kill. Now, he could have also gone a Zydog and gotten a kill because my Hippo is weakened and he's actually Adamant banned, which I didn't expect. But what But Hippo wasn't an answer later in the game, you'll see. One sec. Yeah, okay, Hippo wasn't an answer later in the game, you'll see, for Zydog at this percentage of health, and he was adamant. So what I would have done if I didn't get the Spit F drop, he would have had to go out into Zydog. I would have gone Hippo. I would have lost Hippo, but then I know he was adamant. I could revenge kill with Torn, and I would have just gotten a free Hurricane off on something, or I could have decided to predict him and just go for a Grass Knot or something. I could have gone momentum that way, but now he goes out into Finny, and that's a kind of a big issue because if I didn't get the Spit F drop, I would be able to live a Moonblast. So right now, I'm just going to have to sack this thing. Hopefully he's not faster, but he is. And then I go into Gudra, or I go into this because I know it can take one hit, and then I can just hit it up with a nice Energy Ball and kill it. So that's really good for me. It's not really that good. I'm in a really bad position right now because my Power Whip missed, I got the Spit F drop, and then my Kangaskhan got crit. So if it didn't get crit, I could have saved it for later, gotten rid of the Slowbro, and I would be in a much better position too. This game could have definitely gone my way. But right now I'm in a bad position because I don't have anything for Zydog, and he's actually adamant. So I actually sack this thing first, and now I go out into my Hippo, and I go for Earthquake right here. Or no, I don't go for Earthquake. I go for Slack Off. And I go for Slack Off again, just scouting for Z Blizzard. Because he should be faster than me. I don't really have any investment. So he should be faster than me. He could Z Blizzard, and then I would live it and then go for a Slack Off. But I'm actually faster, and he misses a Toxic. So right here, I was really debating going out into Hoopa to get some momentum because I could not afford this thing getting Toxic because it was very important to my team. And it could potentially still win the game somehow. But I decided instead, I was scared that he'd predict that at this point and go for an edge or something. So I decided not to go out into my Hoopa, and I messed up. He obviously just went for the Toxic, and that really sucks. And so now this thing is weakened. He can just go out into his Slowbro, and I'm just going to switch out. I'm going to go and sack my Torn right here. And right here, actually, what happens is that he is adamant. I didn't know that. I could have actually just killed him right here, but I decided that my best play was sacking off Hoopa, and then somehow trying to win the game with Hippo. I don't know how I would. Maybe if Sandstorm was still up somehow when he went into Scizor, and I could have killed him with a Sandforce Earthquake, depending on his investment. But that was kind of what happened, and yeah, I'm just going to go into Hippo, and he's actually adamant banned, so I'm going to get 2 KO from this range. And I didn't calc it, so I was kind of dumb. I should have probably just gone Torn right here instead of Hoopa. I didn't realize. Because at this point, I just lost anyway because Scizor won. But yeah, this game was not the best because of just hacks, or because a lot of hacks happened. Seb played really well, but I definitely am really upset about this game because, like, what is it? The crit on Kangaskhan was terrible for me, and I know people were like, you should have not switched into Kang first. I thought there was a very good chance to get Blizzard because Hippowdon was the obvious switch in, and it also probably would have killed Torn from that range, or even Ice Beamed or whatever he wanted to do. So I definitely thought that was kind of scary for me to go straight on a Hippo. And then what also sucked was I would have had Serena if that Power Whip didn't miss as well. And then I got the Spit F drop. And what the Spit F drop would have meant, now that you guys know like what happened in the battle on this Gudra. So I could have, what is it? After this, when I got the Spit F drop, what he could have done is that he would have gone out into Zydog to revenge kill me, obviously, instead of Finny. And I could have just sacked off my Hippo. Or I wouldn't have sacked off Hippo. I thought I would have been able to take 2 at that range. But I would have found out he was adamant. Then I could revenge kill him with Torn. Once I found that out. Or I could have sacked Kangaskhan before going to Hippo, depending on what my thought process was. But yeah, Torn would have been able to do a lot of work. especially once I knew that happened. Yeah, I'm kind of just rambling at this point, but I'm just a bit upset about the hacks because now I am 3-4 and I am way behind Jolt now in the conference. I kind of have to hope that I can get some wins in these next coming weeks. It's going to be very hard, and it's going to be really difficult for me make playoffs now. I'm probably not going to. This win was really important for me. I was kind of banking on this win, but it wasn't able to get it. But yeah, Seb played very well. Make sure you go check out his channel. He's a really he has the best edits in his videos. He's a really good player, and I'm sure he's going to do really well this season of the NPL. So hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.